What's up, nerd? So this is going to be another two-parter because I like you guys, but not you, Jared. But back when I was watching Donnie Darko, I saw this video of 50 Cent's son complaining that his dad only gave him $6,700 a month.
It's $6,700 a month.
Okay. And I can't buy stock?
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
Right.
$6,700 a month, right? $6,700 a month in the state of New York City. You do the math.
Oh, I done the math. I've been in child support, bro. I went to jail for it.
Now, I don't know about you, but $6,700 a month is something wild to complain about. Not only that, he's 25 trying to complain to someone who went to jail for child support like that isn't enough. Now, usually kids of famous rappers either end up being nothing like their parents or we just never hear about them. There are some father-son duos who strive together, but for the most part, they're usually hidden in their parents' shadows. In comes social media, and these kids who we only heard about are like, yep, I'm the one you heard about. And they're usually just normal-ass kids with extraordinary parents, but on some occasions, they end up like this.
You're talking about a Forbes lister. Hold on, wait, listen. Talking about somebody that has problems with everybody. You can't just live in any neighborhood. $81K is not a substantial lot of money.
Now, $81K a year to someone like his dad is probably not a lot of money, mainly because, you know, he had to get shot 9 times before any of this happened. I also like how he says, we can't just live anywhere, we got problems with everybody. You look like someone who'd get mistaken for 50 Cent's son. You got more problems growing a mustache than you do with people. And weren't you the one taking pictures with the guy who allegedly tried to kill your dad?
Yo, bro, $6,700. If I told you right now, right, you got to start your life over right now with $6,700 a month and rebuild your life.
Yes.
Didn't even let him finish. Imagine how spoiled you have to be to try to convince someone that $6,700 isn't enough to restart your life over. Yeah, if you're fucking Elon Musk, the maintenance on his robot baby costs that much a month. But I went to Zillow and I looked up apartments for rent in New York. And I mean, unless you want to live next to Domino Park, I don't see what the problem is. We got something like this for $2K, a little banger right here for $22. You can even be on a literal fucking cloud looking over the city for $1,900. I don't see how you can convince anyone that's not enough. And not even that, he's acting like his mom hasn't been getting child support for like the last 20 years. I found this article from 2007 that said she was getting $25K a month in child support. That's $300K a year. It says it costs $300K to raise a child until they're 17, meaning she was getting 17 years worth of child support in just a year. That's more than the minimum they paid an NFL player back then. And after he's seen that everyone was making fun of him because he looks like Kevin Hart got stung in the forehead by a bee, he's like, let me try and make my dad look bad real quick. Since y'all think $6,700 is so much money, someone tell my pops I'll pay him $6,700 for just 24 hours of his time so we can do everything I wanted to do with him as a kid. Yo, if there was ever one thing that I would actually try my hardest to not care about, it'd be you spending time with your dad. Celebrity kids who think we give a shit about their problems when they're getting paid $6,000 just to exist can actually eat my shit. And if you somewhat know or have been following 50 Cent throughout his career, you would know that he's been having this ongoing beef with his son to the point where you feel bad for the kid. But then you see him at 24 getting a tax-free $80K expecting more and you're like, what are you, a Nick? But now let's go from a rapper's son to an actual rapper. So Kanye West has been going wild, and I mean like declaring DEFCON 3 on the whole Jewish community wild. Imagine knowing who Hitler is and still think the Jews want someone to threaten them. And it's like, do I have to make fun of your mom for you to shut the fuck up? I feel like if we just get one good joke about his mom, he'll go into hiding for a year, which should give us time to prepare for his unwanted return. Like, what is up with those White Lives Matter shirts? That's like something you'd see on Redbubble being sold by a user named We Run the South, and their profile picture's a Confederate flag with flaming skulls on the front of it. He even has some unaired, or at least they say they're unaired clips from his interview with Tucker Carlson, where he just says the most random shit that to ever leave a human's mouth.
I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids knew Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering.
What does he mean by that? You guys ever see that episode of Family Guy where he meets the Jewish lawyer who helps him get his money back?
Thank you, but I can't stay. It's Friday night. I've got to go to temple.
Temple? Ah, like Indiana Jones?
Kanye is living that episode as we speak, only with an imaginary Jewish person. This next clip is the one that should finally get all you Kanye West believers to actually see how retarded this guy actually is. This is him explaining to Tucker how Louis Vuitton killed Virgil, the man who died of cancer.
How did they kill Virgil? First of all, they hired him. Well, do you want I'm gonna try to like give you the abbreviated story.
Yeah.
Virgil was hired as my assistant. And he ended up becoming one of my best friends because we traveled everywhere. We traveled to Japan. We started to gain momentum in the design world. And then Virgil did his own line called Off-White. I stopped doing the Kanye West line. I started doing the Yeezy line. And I did a licensing deal. I had a licensing deal with and we did this fashion show. It was like the most seen fashion show in history. So Bernardo Arnault, the head of LVMH, asked to meet with me, and he offered me a deal. But with the deal, they had to have ownership because they're colonizers, because then we can go back into the neighborhood in our pink Cadillac, metaphorically.
Yeah.
You know, the pink Cadillac was literally invented for that. Google that on Huntsville. We don't have enough time to talk about it right here. The Cadillac, that specifically colored pink, is just like, all of my design team wanted to work with Louis Vuitton. Virgil's working with me. He's got his line, but he's my main employee. I did a show and it started late, and I was really depressed about that. The level of racism, I'm sure, affected his health.
So instead of just saying he was overworked, he blames the company that they wanted to work for and not the cancer that was the thing that was actually eating him from the inside. He's acting like if you Google how Virgil died, it doesn't say cancer. But yeah, guys, 50 Cent's son is a piece of shit, and Kanye West is showing signs of bringing back the Third Reich. And you wonder why they make holidays like Juneteenth. It's to make up for all the shit that you do that sets them back. See you next week. Peace.